Hare Krishna. We are in the 15th chapter, 8th canto, 31st verse. This is the instance of the Devatas, Indra asking Brihaspati what to do with Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj had attacked Indrapuri with so much army, he doesn't know what to do. So he's asking Brihaspati what to do. So Brihaspati is replying, Esha Vipra Balodar Kaha Samprati Urjita Vikramaha Teshamevapamanhena Sanubandho Vinakshati. Bali Maharaj has now become extremely powerful because of the benediction given him by the Brahmana. So when he later insults the Brahmana, he will be vanquished along with his friends and assistants. The similar instance happens in Govardhan Leela. Indra becomes very angry. Residents of Vrindavan are obeying Krishna. Krishna says, you worship Govardhan, there is no need to worship Indra. And Indra feels insulted, and Indra is very, very angry. What do? They ignore him. In fact, they ask Krishna, he is very angry, should he pacify him? So Krishna says, no need, just ignore him. Actually, Indra should be very happy that the Lord is being worshipped. So we cannot give a business of just flattering, pleasing people. That is not our business. Our business is to satisfy the Lord. And in that process, some people do get upset. Just like when Sankirtana is there, Prabhupada recalls when in America they used to do Sankirtana 7 o'clock in the morning. So they didn't have independent building. They rented ground floor, upstairs, other people are there. So 7 o'clock, morning Mangalarti is there, then 7 o'clock is Darshanarti. They will be so upset that they will show their anger because they are making sound of Kirtana. And they are feeling that somebody is disturbing them. They'll throw water all around, make noise. They'll get so angry. So, but not that we're going to stop the business. Prabhupada ignored. So many times in this situation, Prabhupada said, just ignore. We continue. So we cannot have the business of just flattering everybody, making everybody artificially happy. No. We have the business of making Krishna happy. And automatically, everything is nourished. But if, when you're putting water the root of the tree, the water should go everywhere. But if the branch is disconnected, it does not go there. So somebody who is disconnected doesn't feel nourished when you put water in the root. Yatha taror moola nishechanena tripyanti taskand bhujopashaka prana apahara chaitendriyanam tathaiva sar arhanam achyuteja. When you put water in the root, it automatically goes to branches, leaves. If it is connected. If the branch is not connected, the water will not go to the branch. So same way, Indra was disconnected to the Lord because of his ahankara. They were worshipping Govardhan and Krishna. He should be happy. He was angry. He is disconnected. Similarly, Shukracharya here is disconnected to the Lord. Bali Maharaj will go to worship Vamandeva. Why is he getting angry? Something is wrong with him. So there is no need at that moment to bother. Just ignore. We march with the caravan to serve the Lord. We are not focused what people feel. People may not like it. People may like it. Prabhupada says we can just repeat the message of the Vedas. People may like, they may not like. That we don't have control over it. Rather, if they are Pashugna, they get irritated. Prabhupada was preaching to a lady journalist for a long time, and she could not understand. So Prabhupada asked him, do you eat meat? Asked her, do you eat meat? He said, yes. Prabhupada said, yeah. It's very difficult to convince the meat eater. Very difficult. She is not getting it. Again, Prabhupada explaining, you are not body or soul. She is not getting it. Prabhupada, do you eat meat? Yes, it's very difficult. So it's not our business to actually entertain. So insult, let us focus on insult then. Shukracharya unnecessarily feel insulted. There are so many ways place insult. Lord Shiva was insulted by Daksha, again for no purpose. Daksha was entering the assembly, and Daksha is very powerful. He was as effulgent as sun. When he came, everybody felt as if sun god has come. It's very powerful. Daksha means he is expert. Morning also we are Tatra Vidaksha Ati Vallavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravindam. He is very Daksha. The Acharya is very Daksha in service to Krishna. But this Daksha is not for service to Krishna. He is expert in producing children. Expert in having sex and producing children. That is the Daksha. He is the Prajapati. So then Brahma uses the service to populate the universe. But he becomes very proud. And when he entered the assembly where Lord Shiva is sitting, Lord Shiva was in samadhi on Krishna. He just didn't notice him coming. He was innocent. He says later to his wife Sati, I am innocent. He had not done any offense actually. He is a great personality, full of etiquettes. But it's just because he was little on meditation of the Lord, he didn't notice him coming. So everybody noticed him coming, acknowledged his appearance, and everybody got up. And Brahma was also there, his father. He also noticed him coming, welcomed him. But Shiva was like in his own world. So Daksha thought he is insulting him. He had no intention of insulting. That's called unconscious offense. He took the offense. And he started shouting and blah, 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 went on ranting. So when his wife Sati later said, there is a big festival happening, Daksha place, there is my father's place, big festival are there. I am seeing all my sisters so well decorated going for the event. I also want to go. So Shiva says, don't go. He insulted me for no purpose. He'll insult me again. You'll not be able to bear it. And she goes. And then his father ignores her. He receives all the daughters, he ignores her because he's so angry at Lord Shiva. He ignores her also. She can't bear it. And not only that, she sees they are doing Homa Yagna, they are never chanting name of Lord Shiva. He has to be given Vishnu Prasada also. A share of Vishnu Prasada from the Homa to Vishnu has to be given to Lord Shiva. They're not giving. So he saw so much insult happening to the husband. She said, this body I got from you, take this body. She burnt her body by her tapashakti. So anyway, so that she took the insult very seriously. So but they were unnecessarily insulted. Similarly, when Parikshit Maharaj came to the house of Shamika Rishi, Shamika Rishi was in Samadhi, and Parikshit Maharaj again got unnecessarily insulted. He was not insulting him. There are so many examples. Indrarudna Maharaj also in a similar way was sitting in his meditation, and another sage came and he felt insulted. He asked him, give me water. Similar thing as Amrish, this Indrarudna Maharaj also. So Parikshit Maharaj asked Shamika Rishi, give me water. And he was in meditation and he got insulted. So this is the nature of the world. People feel insulted for no purpose. Because they are disconnected to the Lord, therefore they feel insulted. Parikshit Maharaj was not disconnected. The instance of Yogamaya arranging for Bhagavata to come out. But the principle is same. When you are disconnected, then you feel angry. Even though Lord is being worshipped, we should be very happy. Our problem is that our focus is our own self. Everywhere I am thinking whether I am being honored, whether I am being dishonored. That's all. Prabhupada said, no, the devotee's focus is different. He's always thinking about the Lord. When the Lord is dishonored, devotee does become angry. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Nityananda Prabhu was hurt, he became very angry, fire. But personal self, a devotee should not take an office. Tirinadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishana, amanina, manadena kirtaniya, sadahari. Amanina, he doesn't want respect. Manadena is ready to give all respect. This takes time. Ahankara has to go. And introspectively we should analyze. He said something, this person, he didn't insult the Lord, he insulted me. I am not worthy of any respect. Therefore Prabhupada said humility means I am not worthy of any respect. The person is very clear about this. They doesn't deserve any respect. That is humility. Then it becomes very peaceful. The moment there is a desire or there is some satisfaction I am desiring from being respected, till the moment it is difficult to develop humility. But should be convinced, thoroughly convinced, I do not deserve any respect. Then that is called humility. We see also in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, he felt insulted. He got very insulted. When his mother kept him down, Uttanapada, the two sons, Uttama and Dhruva. Uttama climbed the life of the father, and Dhruva wanted to climb the other life. And the stepmother said, "No, you cannot do this." I felt so insulted. Suniti, Surichi. The Surichi did not allow. है ना, सुरिची थी. सौतेली माँ कौन थी? सुरिची. उसकी माँ कौन थी? सुनीति, सुरिची. माँ सुनीति थी और सौतेली माँ सुरिची थी. और नाम similar they used to keep, so easy to remember. There is one interesting incident. One person's son's names are Ek, Dvi, Tri. He names the children's 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy to remember. Great sages there. All the four are great sages. Eka, Dveta, Treta. So there another instance, and then when Narad Muni tries to instruct Dhruva Maharaj goes to his mother. Then I have heard. Mother was also crying because she was also insulted. They were in miserable pain. So she said, Dhruva, doesn't matter. Only Krishna can solve the problem. No use that both of us cry. Let us solve this problem. Krishna can solve the problem. So who can solve the problem? He said, Krishna. So where is Krishna? He's in the forest. And he goes, at a small age, 5-year-old boy goes to the forest. And all the way Narada tests him, and Narada says that, my dear Dhruva, you see, the children should not take an offense seriously. People say so many things. बच्चे को तो लोग मजाक मजाक बहुत कुछ बोलते हैं. You should not take so seriously. In any way, it's your karma, no? You must have insulted somebody in last life, you got insulted now. So take it in the right way. So Dhruva Maharaj says, the instructions are very good, Narad Muni, but the Kshatriya blood is running here. I can't handle this. I want revenge. I want a kingdom get bigger than my father, grandfather. Can you get it? He said, yes. You worship Narayana, he'll give you. And he gives him the mantras. The point is that we are not in ISKCON being trained as Kshatriya, we are trained as Brahmanas. Therefore many people run away. Because they just can't handle it. It's very difficult. All these instructions, Amani, Namani, then are very difficult for a non-Brahmana. Not by birth, but by quality. These are Brahminical instructions which we are giving. Okay? So this is another perspective. Let us look at more offenses. Apman, Aman. The word used here is Apamanena. Apaman only. Apman ho gaya. There are so many instances. Yeah, Vidura was insulted. Vidura was insulted by Duryodhana. No reason again. Vidura was a great counsel. He was only advising out of goodwill. No ill intention. He is a well-wisher for the world. Sadhava sadhu bhushanam. He is a sadhu. Suhridam sarvabhutanam. Ajata shatrava shanta sadhavas. Titikshava karunika. Sadhu means he is very tolerant and very merciful. Suhrida sarvabhutanam. He is well-wisher for every living entity. Ajata shatrava. He does not have an enemy. Shanta, very peaceful. These are the qualities of a sadhu. Shri Radha Govinda ki. What are the quality? We say we have become sadhu. We say we have become sadhu. Paritranaya sadhuna. So we think many times I am sadhu. I don't think so, because sadhu has big qualities. Titikshava, very, very tolerant. Karunika, very merciful. Surida sarva bhutana, always wishing well for everybody. Ajata shatrava, he does not have an enemy. Correct? Therefore Prahlad Maharaj did not like the teaching of enemy friend. Shanda and Avarka were teaching to Prahlad Maharaj, we have an enemy. So we have a friend. Prahlad Maharaj said, we have only friends, we have no enemies. Ajata shatravaha shanta, very peaceful. Sadhava sadhu bhushan. These are the ornaments of a sadhu. So this we see that Vidura was a sadhu, so there is no question of him having ill wish. But for the good of the world, he wanted Dhritarashtra to disown Duryodhana. Unnecessarily war will happen. But Dhritarashtra was so attached to his child, he could not say anything to him. And the war had to happen. So another instance. In fact, whole Mahabharata is also because of Apman. Who was Apman? Draupadi. They insulted Draupadi. Correct? पहले हुआ. उसके बाद द्रौपदी को इंसल्ट हुआ. They insulted Draupadi in public. They wanted to strip her. That's very serious. See, a physical offense and अगर ऐसा हो, physical offense है तो physical offense से उत्तर होता है. Verbal offense से verbal offense से उत्तर होता है. Okay, Duryodhana was verbally insulted. Okay, that also we have to see real Mahabharata, not TV serial Mahabharata, what she actually said. Bhagavatam said they just laughed. अब टीवी सीरियल में बहुत कुछ बोला है, अंधे का बेटा अंधा होता है तो टीवी सीरियल में बोला है, बट असली महाभारत में क्या देखना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, भागवतम says that actually he slipped and fell because Maya Danav had made so wonderful, difficult to know where there is water, where there is land. The palace was so beautiful, it slipped into the water. Huh? Bhagavatam says she only laughed. But TV serial says so many things. वो तो डायलॉग बना दिया, अंधे का बेटा अंधे होता है, बट वी डोंट नो. Bhagavatam says she laughed, and Bhagavatam says something more, that Yudhishthira Maharaj was about to stop them. All the queens were about to laughing and Draupadi were laughing. Yudhishthira Maharaj found a lack of etiquette, don't laugh. But Krishna said, laugh, keep laughing. That Bhagavatam reveals, Krishna made them keep laughing. Because he wanted him to be punished for what he had done. For already he had tried to kill the Pandavas so many times. Anyway, Krishna was setting the scene for removing so many unwanted people from earth. So that's Krishna's activities. They're not easy to understand, but in this way we can understand. Yeah, previous. So these two insults are over. Apman. There was one more, Jayadartha. Jayadartha, I think he married one of the sisters of the Kauravas. Jayadartha was related to the Kauravas. He was the one who stopped the war for one day. He could handle all the Pandavas except Arjuna and led to the death of Abhimanyu, Jayadartha. So Jayadartha was very much attached to Draupadi. Draupadi was extremely beautiful. That's why we had Karna also desiring her, Duryodhana also desiring her. She was extremely beautiful. They all were kings. They could have many wives. Jayadartha was also already married and he was going to marry again. But on the way he saw Draupadi and he had so much cherished desire to have her as a wife. And he was sitting in the Swayamvara ceremony where Arjuna won. They could not do it, but in his heart desire was there. So Pandavas were in Vanvas at that time. So he was going somewhere for his one more marriage. On the way he saw Draupadi and he became very attracted. And he sent a messenger again and again that you can come on the chariot, I'll take you. Why you want to be with these people? They are in Vanvas, they will stay in Vanvas forever. And she refused, kept refusing. And then he could not handle, he became crazy. He brought the chariot and dragged her in the chariot. So Draupadi was also not, she gave him nice bashing, he fell on the ground first. But anyway, physically man is more powerful, he dragged her to the chariot. But then there was Pandava's guru who was guiding them in the Vanvas, how to do all this karma kanda. I think Dhaumya. And he protested. So what are you doing? This is somebody's wife, you want to drag in the chariot? This is all very wrong. You should not do this. Then he sent a message to Yudhishthira Maharaj, your wife has been dragged away. The 5 Pandavas come. It's a small thing for the powerful Pandavas. And finally they catch him. They kill all his soldiers, everything, and they catch him. And Bhima gives him pat, almost kills him. And then they want to kill, but Draupadi says, no, leave him, don't kill him. She did not sanction his killing. So they left 5 hairs on his head. They shaved his head, like something similar which happened to Jayadartha. There is something similar which happened to the brother of Rukmi. Yeah, similar. They just left few hairs on his head. Basically a big insult for a Kshatriya to go back home like that. All shaven head, 5 hairs here, there, mustache here. Krishna had also left him like that. So he left him like that, and he did great tapasya and later tried to avenge that. But anyway, finally was killed by Arjuna. So this is, now let us come to the different ways we can see the insults bore. A devotee is very careful in devotional life, just like Bali Maharaj. In this case of Shukracharya, it is not his fault. It is not his fault. He wants to serve Krishna. So any obstacle he will not tolerate. Okay? And there was an obstacle. Shukracharya took a great offense. He is not listening to him. Shukracharya somehow gave an advice. Arey, you have told a promise, but you didn't say Om before promise. All that funny things he was doing. And Bali Maharaj did not appreciate that. He said, how can I lie? I am a grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. How can I lie? Actually, Bali Maharaj wanted to offer everything to the Lord. But still he was being kind. He was speaking with full etiquettes. If you read Bhagavatam, we will read now, he speaks with full etiquettes to his Guru. He never uses strong words. My dear spiritual master, how can I lie? And you only told when Vishnu comes, we can offer everything to Vishnu. Today you are telling me when Vishnu has come, don't do that. It's not correct. You become more intelligent than me. And then he becomes very upset. And he curses Bali Maharaj. And then it is only that Vamandeva takes everything away. So this is prediction of Brahaspati. He is not ordinary. He is also a very powerful sage. He can see past, present, future. He can see this is going to happen. And that's the only way this person can be dispossessed. Okay? So we also, our spiritual advancement cannot be taken away unless we do offenses. And why we will do an offense? The devotee never does offense. Because devotee means he loves Krishna. When you love Krishna, you love all the devotees. Where there is a question of an offense. Offense to the devotee means actually we have offense for the Lord in the heart. Isn't it? We love Krishna, we love devotees. There is no question of offense. There is no question. Devotee means there is no question. But because we are weak in devotion, therefore we disconnect things from the Lord. Okay? So therefore this is a very careful thing to be done, very delicate thing. We see when Krishna had to correct Indra, he corrected very carefully. Krishna did not kill Indra. He could have done it. Similarly, Brahma. Brahma is also Krishna's great devotee. He also did a great offense. He was disturbing the Lord's Leela by stealing the coward boys. And the power of Krishna, in the moment he created all the Narayanas who became the coward boys and the calves. Imagine millions of calves, coward boys. Krishna did everything. Very carefully, he did not hit. He could have thrown Sudarshana, cut the head of Brahma. Not a big deal. He could have similarly killed Indra. Not a very easy thing for him. But Krishna did not do it because devotee is involved. So we have to be extremely careful when devotee is involved, because we do not, even a Kanishta we should not offend. We should be careful. It is said, if you are going back to Godhead and you offended even a Kanishta, you have to come back, take his pardon, then go. Otherwise not allowed to enter. You have to take pardon if you have unnecessarily offended a Kanishta. And course of duty is different. Just like here, he is doing his duty to the Lord, somebody got offended. Now we cannot do everything. We are not for pleasing people. But as such, we should be careful in our offense to the devotees. We should be very, very careful. Because then the spiritual advancement will be checked. It will be covered for the time being till the offense is cleared. It becomes almost nil. So how do you know? The taste goes away. I am reading Bhagavatam, no taste now. I am chanting Hare Krishna. I am doing, but no happiness. So those who are tasting spiritual happiness, those who are tasting the mercy of Krishna, they become very, very careful in doing an office. When there is no taste, there is nothing, that person doesn't care about an office. But somebody who is actually relishing Krishna consciousness is very careful not to make an office. Srila Prabhupada ki